Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well and welcome to another video. If you're thinking about buying property in Costa Rica, before you sign anything, you're going to need to know the legal rules that protect you and the traps that can cost you thousands. Let me break it down exactly how foreigners can legally buy property in Costa Rica without getting burned. First things first, let's kill all the myths. Number one, foreigners can't own land. That is wrong. You need a Costa Rican partner. That is wrong as well. You lose your rights if you don't have residency in Costa Rica. That's also wrong. Foreigners in Costa Rica have the same rights as Costa Ricans when buying titled land. No restrictions, no surprises, except for one, and we'll go into that. Here's the one exception, and that is the Maritime Zoning Law of Costa Rica. So that means that the first 200 meters from the high tide is the restricted area. So the first 50 meters are the public zone. That cannot be owned by anybody, and it is open to all of us private citizens. The next 150 meters in that maritime zone can be leased from the government. That part is owned by the government. So foreigners can lease these concession lands, but only under specific rules, for example, like holding 49% of a holding company and things like that. So if you're doing concessions, this is not the time to hold out. Make sure you get an attorney involved to advise you exactly how to own concession land in Costa Rica. So now let's get into how to legally buy property in Costa Rica as a foreigner. So here's the step-by-step process, okay? Your real estate attorney is going to verify title and ownership, any mortgage liens on the property, zoning and land use, and review the property survey that goes with that title report. It's going to determine if the seller, for example, if it's owned by a company, if it's in compliance. And then also we recommend hiring an independent property surveyor that works for you, who should verify the property boundaries, the property access and easements, and any encroachments with any neighbors to the properties. These are all essential steps to have a smooth transaction in Costa Rica. My recommendation, of course, is that you do not skip any of these due diligence processes, because this is where most expats lose their money. So the next part is that the key to every transaction in Costa Rica is going to be the purchase agreement. Now this contract should include all the details of the transaction, including the price and the payment terms, due diligence period, the closing date, the default clauses, what stays with the property, the inventory. You'd be surprised how many people fight over inventory as to what was to be included and what was left out of the property when they were ready to close, and who pays what to whom. So this is the crucial document that's going to guide you through the smooth transaction in Costa Rica, is the purchase agreement. So be as detailed as possible. So here's some typical red flags that you must watch out for if you're a foreign buyer. So for example, if the property has judicial liens on the property, then best walk. If the seller is refusing to, adhere to your due diligence requests, due diligence clauses, if they're fighting on the due diligence, then what are they hiding? If the property is owned by a non-compliant company, then be careful, because the deed could be blocked at the time you file it. So dealing with beach property concessions without the Apple verifications. That's another red flag for you. And of course, paying deposits directly to the sellers. In Costa Rica, the judicial process is extremely slow. If you're going to pay a deposit to the seller and something goes wrong, good luck trying to get that deposit back. So we prefer the funds to be held in escrow with a third-party escrow company. That's the best practice. So of course, this is all where having an experienced attorney who handles real estate purchases for foreign buyers is crucial in your purchase process. So setting up escrow is a crucial part of your transaction. As we mentioned, we prefer that all deposits be held by an escrow company. As a matter of fact, that they handle all the funds for the transaction. This is going to make it a lot smoother. So this ensures that, first of all, you comply with Costa Rica money laundering laws, which can be complicated in moving money into Costa Rica. So the escrow smooths that out for you. So whenever possible, we work with the several different escrow companies in Costa Rica, and we ensure that the process goes smoothly, the funds are handled, the payments are dispersed, and this makes the whole process very easy to close. So for example, a typical closing is we will meet at the closing office, we will sign the property transfer deed, and we will scan the disbursement statement signed by all parties. And once that is done, we scan it, send it over to the escrow company, and then they proceed and disperse all the funds in the transaction according to the instructions provided to them by the buyer. Now, another important detail is that in Costa Rica, only a notary public can transfer title of property and get it recorded in the recording office for you. And not every lawyer in Costa Rica is a notary public. So you do have to be a lawyer to be a notary public, but not every lawyer in Costa Rica is a notary public. So be sure you use somebody that's experienced in real estate transactions, especially somebody that's experienced in real estate transactions with foreign buyers, to make sure that they understand the process, understand your thinking, and are used to working with escrow and with getting title recorded in the name of the foreign buyers. Now, once the deed is signed in the presence of the notary public, then it is filed in the National Registry. Now, when it's recorded, then of course, congratulations, you officially purchased your piece of property in Costa Rica. So the deed goes over to the National Registry, it's assigned to a recorder at random, and then they go through the process of reviewing the deed and then record it and then microfilm the document, and you're done. You're now a property owner in Costa Rica. Now, when you're making offers, keep in mind that closing costs in Costa Rica are going to run you roughly about 4% of the purchase price, and that's going to include the government transfer tax, the notary fees, the registry fees, and the documentary stamp. So use this also as a way to calculate when you make an offer, because in Costa Rica, they generally expect the buyers to pay the closing costs. So if you're going to make an offer, keep in mind, roughly calculate 4%, and adjust your offer accordingly so that you can cover those closing costs as part of the transaction. So as you can see, buying property in Costa Rica is absolutely possible when you follow all the legal steps and do your due diligence. So we're here to help. If you have any questions about real estate transactions in Costa Rica, let us know. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, let me know. I'd be glad to answer them for you. If you have any questions about the legal process of buying property in Costa Rica, drop me a note as well, and I'll answer it for you. And hope to see you here again in the next video.